call yourself. Cash Flow Pretty, and I'm here to talk about how so irritated I am with these court systems. I went today to custody temporary hearing because my one of my child's fathers taking me to court for to put all this stuff together so we can have documents on paper about our situation with our child, and I've been caring for our child for this entire time. He's going into age 2, so he's about 19 months. But anyways, I'm just highly irritated because this court systems are not set up for people to utilize, like, at all. They made it so hard for you to utilize the court system, even if it's something as simple as putting together court documents. I'm in here, presenting my materials, my case. I have exhibits already, given to the other party, and I'm presenting these same exhibits to the judge. And the lawyer on his side, I don't have a lawyer. I don't have the money for a lawyer. I'm a single parent of 2. My child's father has not been paying child support until someone forces him to do so, and she's been able to convince the court that there's a reason for that, and that reason is that I'm difficult. Well, me being difficult has nothing to do with you going up to child support office and making your payment. I don't understand what else. It's been a whole year. You made not one payment, but that's beside the fact. I'm presenting my evidence to her, and this lawyer keeps saying hearsay. And I guess hearsay is a word that you use as a lawyer to state that this information is not valid to be entered into the court. So there's some procedures that I did not do for the court to approve my documentation about child care costs. And she goes, it's hearsay. Well, if you have a document that's signed, how is that hearsay? Like, I don't understand. What exactly do you need to do for me to other than copy? I just broke up. Like I said, what exactly are you wanting me to do outside of this other party had these things for months and months, and now I'm presenting it to you to accept, and you're saying that it's hearsay, all because she's a lawyer and I'm not? Like, you can't even explain to me what hearsay is because you're leaving that up to lawyers. Like, I'm just saying, like, the system depends on lawyers a little bit too much, especially with the fact that all lawyers don't do their jobs. I mean, like, how is it that you can't explain what something is? If you're going to deny something of me, you should, as a judge, be explaining, like, okay, well, that's hearsay, and what hearsay is dot, 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 because you did not, dot, dot, dot. I can't accept this, and that is sustained. Not just, allow this judge to keep, like, shooting me down because I don't have a lawyer and I don't know this stuff. The reason me coming here is, okay, one, I'm just highly irritated because I'm talking to this guy outside of the court. We're talking about ranging stuff, and outside of the court, it's, oh, let's, do all this together. I'm coming to you about these things. Let's figure this out. You become this, oh, let's blame her and say that she has never tried or is not attempting, or let's make her out to be this most difficult person. So now that I'm outside of the court, you told the court that I'm super difficult. If I'm so difficult, now you want to talk to me outside the court. I just don't understand it. Like, be one or the other. Either be with the fact that I'm difficult or be with the fact that I'm not. Because, one, I'm not. Two, you're just creating a situation way more extravagant and bigger than it has to be. If you guys have couples out there and you guys are battling it out, with custody and stuff, first of all, if custody is not an issue and you can go see your child whenever you want, be cool with that person about the custody part and just put something together and agree on it. Tell the judge that's what you agree on. That's it. If child support is what you're not really okay about, then That's what you're in court's about out, not everything else that doesn't really matter. Make out this guy to be like, oh, they're not letting me see my child, and think that that's going to help you in child support. It's not. I mean, you're just hurting yourself. If you're not going to be there anyway, you just want the child support to go down, then say that. Don't try to make the situation, the entire situation, a big issue when actually there's only one thing there that's a big issue. I don't know. I went through this thing multiple times. I'm sorry, baby. And I'm just so having to go through it. But I was just highly irritated. I figured I'd come on here and talk to you guys about it. This will be another topic that I talk about when I'm like more calmed down and stuff like that. But like I said, this was a temporary order. I'm hoping and praying that I don't have to go through no more of this. Hopefully he figures out that that's just not a situation, because all your everything comes out when you in court, and there's no purpose for it. There's no purpose other than to get a decision down on paper. And if it's not your decision with the partner that you made the baby with, then it's going to be the court's decision. And it's not fair, because if somebody doesn't have the income, the reason why they need child support is because they don't have income. And then you go fighting them about the income they're trying to get with a lawyer that you're paying for, that could have been going to child support to help them raise this baby. It just doesn't make sense, and it's unfair. So just think about all of that, you guys. That's my little spiel, because I don't want to give too much on here. I don't even know if I can get in trouble for it. If I do, whoop-de-doo. Anywho, yeah, just be careful. Work with your partner. Don't make things so that after you get out of court, now that person doesn't know how to come and talk to you because you told the judge that this person is difficult. And the only reason why this person is difficult because there's one thing that you can't decide on, but everything else is just fine. Don't mess up everything else just to get that one point across. That doesn't make sense at all. If they're cordial, just regular talking, I mean, what you're doing is you're hindering that relationship. You're making them feel like harassing you, and really they're not. You're making them feel like they're harassing you when they're not. And now they don't want to talk to you at all because that's the impression that you put upon them in court. Like, okay, well, if that's who you think I am, then I'm just not going to communicate with you. And that's not good for the baby or for the two individuals, because now you got to work through the thorn bushes to get to a point where everything feels normal and you can act regular. You're not acting like you're a piece of paper anymore, you know? It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And then when someone his dad lives 5.5 hours away from here. So it's like, either we talk now, or I have to wait until you come back, because he won't talk on the phone. Like, what's the point? You won't talk to me on the phone. Let's sit down. He's 50. I'm 29. Let's sit down, have a conversation face to face. But let's sit down isn't going to happen until 2-3 months from now. If I need childcare now, I can't sit down with you. You got to talk to me. I mean, you have to communicate with your partner. You can't just expect that everything go through your lawyer or go through the judge. Those things take time while your child is suffering, because he can't be placed in child care or school or anything because you guys haven't talked it out. Like, be cordial. That's all I want to say. Just be cordial. Listen. Take out the time to actually hear somebody out. Hear what the issues are. Because most of the time, at least as a woman, I want to get my issues out. Like, I've been dealing with this childcare. I need childcare so I can get consistent income issue, and I haven't been able to deal with it. Okay, now the judge says we have to pay half childcare expenses. Okay, now I want to know, so I can get this done and over with. I want to know how you're going to get that half to me, so I can put my baby in childcare tomorrow, so I can get an extra job to pay income for our house, which is going to lower your support, because now I need less money from you. So think about this when y'all out there trying to fight for child support. Think about what you would be paying if y'all were together. Okay? So, I don't know. It's ridiculous. And odd that people don't think about this stuff. They're like holding back information thinking it's going to help them. You're not helping yourself. You're just making the other person more aggravated because they're trying to get something handled. And saying I don't know or let's wait is not helping the situation. You need to be on your feet. If you're older than 25 years old and you have a child, you should know how to quickly make decisions. That's just part of being an adult. That's part of adulting. So I'm just here to give out the message that don't make this child uh, custody battle stuff the center of your entire world when you're going through it. Think of who it's affecting. That person might have extra children or whatever, and they're waiting on you to get things thought out. You got 6 months until your court date. That means you got 6 months to think of what you want before you get there and how to resolve it. Don't not think of it all 6 months until the day of. Now you're just trying to hurry up and push out an answer just because you're forced to. I mean, like, be an adult. Stop making decisions on reaction and make decisions because it's what's right and it's what's responsible. And you have time to figure out what really works, not what's, oh, how can I win this or what makes me look good in the situation. It's about the baby. Let it be about the baby and stop pushing your stress and anxiety on the other person because guess what? They got their own stress that they're dealing with also. So just deal with the situation and move forward. But I'm just so irritated because this individual just won't deal with the situation. Like he just wants to keep waiting and wait. I don't know if his lawyer is his girlfriend because they act like they're screwing. But he doesn't talk when he's around her. He just lets her do it and he refers me to her like, what kind of parenting is this? We can't talk to each other and I gotta go to your lawyer. I mean, it just makes me feel so stupid. It really does. But I don't know if you guys are having the same situations. Let me know. This is the second time that I've had to go through this, and it's just the worst. It's the worst situation. Like I really want to move on from it, but people say oh, today's a new day. We did a visit and everything's gonna get better. But you know what? Like I said, I've done this. This is the second time. People people's behavior usually don't change, and I'm not saying I'm doubting it. God is better than me. I'm gonna put it in His hands, and I'm gonna pray. Y'all pray for me, okay? But it's not easy. It's not easy going through these type of situations. I will be relieved when He's able to just continuously come pick up His baby and go and have fun, and He can come back because that's gonna relieve me. Like, hey, I want to be able to go on the weekend, work on the weekends, or do extra stuff, get stuff done. I also want to be able to put my baby in childcare, a good childcare, and get an extra job so that we can have my income, not be on welfare like most people expect black women to be. I'm I'm not a welfare addict. I mean, they just kept saying, "Oh, maybe you can get state child care help." Well, who's depending on that? Because once he start paying child support, and be eligible for that. So why are you always so worried about welfare and what welfare is paying? Okay, that expectation kills me as a black woman. Everyone, when you talk about income or expenses, they always want to say, "Oh, you're not paying it, welfare." Well, who told you I was on welfare? Am I on welfare? No. So, oh, I just assumed that maybe you can go get that support. Okay, well, it's not the case. So irritated. I tell you, I'm highly overratedly irritated. But anyway, you guys, that was just a real part of me. I wanted to get it down. But I love my child. I want this relationship to be a healthy relationship. I just want it to make sense. I don't want to be robots handing papers saying, "Look at this." That those are the rules. Like, can we be people? Can we raise this child? Can I talk to you? I shouldn't have to ask your lawyer what your address is. I shouldn't ask your lawyer if my son can eat apples. You shouldn't have to ask the lawyer how to get documents from the doctor. Like, these are things that we should be able to talk about, right? If you're ignoring me and you're always pushing it off, you're just making this situation that much bigger, and it only grows every day, because every day that the situation's not handled or talked about, the more stress and anxiety and pressure that's on that particular situation. So handle your issues. If you have a female, she wants to talk to you, even if it comes out a way that you don't want to, just listen. Usually you can put the pieces together if you're writing and taking notes about what they're trying to say to you, but the emotions sometimes come out differently because they've held it in for so long, whether it's male or woman. You know, when someone holds the situation in for long, you won't let them get that out. It's not gonna be pleasant when you find, and you're gonna be like, see, this is what I was talking about. No, this ain't what you was talking about. This is what you allowed to happen in order for you to finally listen. So don't do that. Maybe next time listen and take care of the issue when it needs to be handled. Then you won't have to worry about backlash. And that's the truth. Handle it. Don't put it off until you want to put it off, and then be upset that that person is still upset that it took this long to get this handled. Anyways, y'all have a good day. I'm just going to woo sign for